Moon Knight has been picking up some real steam thanks to his new show, and I mean, honestly, after jumping on the bandwagon, I've come to really like the character too. He has some great villains, and today on Top 10 Nerd, I'm going to break down the top 10 most powerful Moon Knight villains. Number 10, Raoul Bushman. We're going to start this list off right, with probably the oldest and longest time foe to Moon Knight and Marc Spector. Raoul Bushman was a mercenary that hired Marc Spector and pals for a while, until Bushman turned on them after Marc's conscience didn't like the idea of ending archaeologists' lives for the treasure they discovered. This was actually the inciting incident that had Marc chosen by Khonshu in Moon Knight #1 back in 1980. Raoul doesn't have any powers, just a very particular set of skills. Specifically, Bushman is an expert swordsman, marksman, and unarmed combatant. And he has a ton of experience in guerrilla warfare and battle tactics. Oh, he's also been brought back from the afterlife twice, and even though he has been beaten so many times by Moon Knight that he has developed an eating problem, he keeps coming back for more. Number 9, Marc Spector. As a veteran of the Vietnam War, Carson Knowles didn't have things too great upon his return to America. Not a lot of people were fans of these veterans, which is a little unfair. He barely could keep himself supported with his job, and then he found out his son had passed over the phone. Carson snapped. He beat a mugger to the threshold of living and turned on the whole world for how poorly he was treated and for the passing of his son. He became Marc Spector, and one of the first longtime villains of Moon Knight. From Moon Knight 25 in 1982 to Moon Knight Volume 5 number 19 in 2008. Interestingly though, Marc Spector doesn't really have any powers either, similar to Mr. Bushman. Just a knack for planning, some political power, and a strong driving force. While not anywhere near the most powerful, he does have an awesome costume. Number 8, Taskmaster. Anthony Masters is not specifically a Moon Knight villain. He's more like an everybody villain. Well, everyone who is a street level martial artist at the very least. Taskmaster is hired by whoever is paying the highest amount, and his photogenic reflexes allow him to match or beat most opponents. He has fought Moon Knight after the Superhuman Registration Act was brought into place when he was hired by a powerful shadowy group of villains who will appear later on in this list. Unfortunately for Anthony, his power does not let him copy moves that utilize other superpowers, which gives Moon Knight and other heroes a bit of an edge. Hey there, travelers of the night. I am not anywhere as cool as Moon Knight. It's true. But if you're at least enjoying me or this video so far, let us know with a like, comment, or even a subscribe. Alright, on to the rest. Number 7, Morpheus. You know, I didn't know a lot about Moon Knight until recently, and I'm so glad because he actually has some really cool, scary, and interesting villains. Robert Markham suffered from a viral infection. He was prescribed an experimental substance that alters his DNA, making him look very different, and causes him not to need or want sleep. Due to his lack of sleep, he developed extremely potent psionic abilities. I kinda doubt that's how insomnia works, but whatever. Robert, now calling himself Morpheus after the Greek god of dreams, swears revenge on the doctor who prescribed the experimental substance that did this to him. And Moon Knight is there to stop him. He's got really unique powers and you should check him out. Number 6, Shadow Knight. Shadow Knight is actually Raoul Spector, the younger brother of Marc Spector. He was poked with a bullet and left in Egypt, assuming he was abandoned by his brother and Raoul Bushman. When he returned, he started going on a spree of de-lifing, targeted at nurses as bait to bring out his older brother. Randall wanted the power of Khonshu blessed upon Marc, but was denied, which drove him to become really jealous. Like, really jealous. He underwent chemical treatments while working with Nephthys. That pushed him even further into insanity and obsession with removing and replacing his own brother. He comes so close to achieving this goal so many different times. Number 5, Moonshade. As an evil cosmic doppelganger of Moon Knight, Moonshade is a pretty tough villain for the Fist of Khonshu. What makes him even worse is the fact that he is buffed with a portion of the power of a doppelganger of Franklin Richards, allowing him to travel through the multiverse, destroying and absorbing the powers of all the other versions of Moon Knight, causing our 616 Moon Knight to go on a wild multiversal chase to stop this guy from becoming an all-powerful evil version of Moon Knight. It's pretty bonkers. This guy was created by Magnus, who himself was a doppelganger of Adam Warlock, alongside a group of other Avenger doppelgangers in Infinity War number 3. Doppelgangers are normally easy, cheap villains, but this one is actually pretty cool. Number 4. Stained Glass Scarlet. Scarlet Facinera is one of those characters that I can kind of understand when she goes to the dark side. In fact, it's kind of hard to say she even turned to the dark side at all. Scarlet did not have a great childhood. She had a not so nice father who she actually brought to a crispy end with a cigarette bedsheet combo. Eventually, she got married to a husband who was involved in crime and also did not treat her very nicely. He didn't last very long either. Then, their son, Joseph, also turned to a life of crime, which forced her hand to bring him to an end too. Her own son. Yikes. She clearly wasn't very stable. After her son was gone, she became a vigilante, hunting down the people responsible for her son's life of crime. But you can't go around de-lifing people. That brings you into direct conflict with Moon Knight. After her vacation from life, she became a bit of a legend, which resulted in her being resurrected as a minor god capable of controlling shards of glass. Number 3. The Committee. And now for something completely different. You see, the Committee isn't actually a villain. It's a group of villains, that same shady group of villains that hired the Taskmaster for the task of mastering Moon Knight, which he failed. These guys aren't even supervillains. No, the Committee is made up of shady businessmen, political figures, and financial leaders who are trying to influence events of the world in their monetary favor. A pretty classic sinister motive, and one that feels pretty real world, honestly. It was the Committee that actually first hired Moon Knight to take out the Werewolf by Night in Moon Knight's first appearance back in Werewolf by Night number 10 in 1973. The Committee is powerful in a non-super way, and even in Moon Knight's long fight against them, he has not found a way to bring them down. Not yet. Number 2. Sun King. As a representation of Amon-Ra, Khonshu's father and rival, the man known as Patient 86 is a pretty powerful supervillain for Moon Knight, and was the main villain for the 2016 Moon Knight story, going from Moon Knight issue number 188 to issue 200. As the representation of the rival of Khonshu, Sun King vowed to destroy his opponent and equal Moon Knight. To achieve his goal, he even teamed up with number 10, Raoul Bushman, and together they manipulated and threatened Marc's girlfriend Marlene, messing with Marc and his multiple personalities, and using Beatrice, Marc and Marlene's daughter. He attacked Marc on a more personal level than most other villains had done before, and even caused him to doubt everything he knew. But being the hero, Marc got back to power with the help of all of his personalities and won the day, and helped Patient 86 to a mental facility for treatment. Number 1. Khonshu. Whoa, what? Khonshu? Isn't Marc the fist of Khonshu? Yes he is. But Khonshu doesn't always treat Marc so great. I figured that this would make a really interesting top spot. The amount of distrust that Marc has for his patron god is not unwarranted. Khonshu may have saved Marc's life, but he was likely also manipulating Marc to even be in this position for years and years. He often manipulates Marc for his own plans and schemes, and in the age of Khonshu, it's heavily implied that he used Moon Knight to take over the whole planet and steal the powers of many different heroes, including Thor, Ghost Rider, Iron Fist, and Doctor Strange. In the newest Moon Knight stories, Marc has even rejected the god himself, but still fights in the name of his ideals, having established the Midnight Mansion, protecting travelers of the night. And there you have it, folks. What did you think of my list? How did you feel about that number 1 spot? Let me know down below. Don't forget to like the video if you liked it, and subscribe if you want to see more. I've been Adam Andrews with Top 10 Nerd. Until next time, peace out, nerds.